What's going on there, YouTube? I'm Gavin72, and welcome back for another Laserdisc and VHS update for November 25th, 2017. And right now, this is going to be a huge one, since right now I didn't get a chance to get another video for you guys because I was currently working right now, and plus I am still delaying my trip to Seattle, which is because which date? Which is in December of the year after next year. Because right now I've been spending much of my money on a bunch of discs. So, anyways, guys, let's get started. So, otherwise, I am still not gonna be going in just in full detail with all the Bond films because right now it will probably take me like forever to get this get things done for the rest of the day. So, let's get started. Even though that I am still not going in full detail for all the Bond films, so I just got myself the complete Bond films on Laserdisc, so even though that I am still going in full detail of all the non-Bond films, I'm gonna be showing you guys in a little bit. That's all the Bond films I showed you guys in a little bit. So I'm still going through all the non-Bond films. I'm gonna be going just in full detail. So next up, a Blade Runner. This is being the extended. This is the director's cut, and right now both sides are CAV. Plus, it's in widescreen, by the way. Next up, the Japanese release of King Kong. I told you guys in my last video I'd get the Japanese Laserdisc release of that film. Plus, I do know the AVGN had done a review over this film, so I'll show you the gatefold of this. See what it looks like with the OB strip attached. Next up, Air Force One with Harrison Ford, and right now this is being the Japanese laser release that film. Plus, I showed you guys. I posted a picture on the Lasers Forever group with the VHS copy of the film. Plus, I got rid of it, so it'll be seen as my mistake for right now and then. And here's a gatefold for this. Next up, Starship Troopers. I've seen this movie on DVD and VHS, and I show you I had to get the Japanese lasers of each of these films, which is because the reason why I had to get the Japanese pricing, because there's another person which is done by at the DAC, and it was notorious for rot, unfortunately. And right now, speaking of the movie, it was released overseas by Disney, and here's the gatefold, what it looks like. Speaking of Disney, and Air Force One was released by Disney, released overseas by Disney, by the way. Next up, The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, Gary Oldman, Ian Holm, and Chris Tucker. And it's a film directed by Luc Besson, who also did The Professional, by the way. I'm still going to be getting a copy of that disc sometime soon. But here's the gatefold. Next up, The Runaway Bride, which is one of my favorite Julia Roberts / Richard Gere moments, which is one of the last films ever first come out on Laserdisc. One of them is being South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Bring Out the Dead, Sleepy Hollow. Next up, Good Will Hunting, which is one of the movies I watched on VHS for the longest running time, with Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and May Driver. Okay, winner of Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, Robin Williams, and Best Original Screenplay, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Next up, Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks. And right now, because right now my copy was right, unfortunately, so because of Laserdisc, because Laserdiscs have been most likely common on Laserdisc, by the way, and mine was right, unfortunately, so I'm still hoping to get a new copy sometime soon. And here's the gatefold, what it looks like, and alongside with E.T., the extraterrestrial. And right now, mine was right on side one, plus I'm still hoping to get the Japanese Laserdisc sometime soon. Next up, Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood. And right now, I got rid of the VHS. I went ahead and picked up the Laserdisc because it has a very good picture quality as well. Next up, Austin Powers International Man Mystery. And right now I'm still getting the 1999 sequel, plus I got rid of the 2 VHS copies of those 2 movies as well. Plus finally got the Laserdisc as well. Next up, The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. And the reason why I get this is because I like Eddie Murphy and I'm a huge fan of this film, so that's it for right now. But next up, Bird or Wire with Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn. Next up, The Silence of the Lambs with Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, and Scott Glenn. And right now this is a Ryan Pictures film. And I've seen this movie on television back in the day, plus I almost did like it, by the way, so I did, however, picked up the Laserdisc release that film. Next up, The Color of Money with Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. And right now I'm still hoping to get the 1961 first original film. on Laserdisc for the longest running time, so I'm still hoping to get that disc sometime soon, believe it or not. Next up, The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, Anna Bancroft, and Catherine Ross. And that's one of the best films ever made. This is being the 25th anniversary special limited widescreen edition of the actual disc. Plus, I also got rid of the VHS, and I picked up the lasers of that film. Next up, Always with Richard Dreyfuss, John Goodman, and Holly Hunter, and this film directed by Steven Spielberg, which is co-produced by Amblin. It's a Universal Studios film co-produced by Amblin Entertainment, while it a bunch of movies that Spielberg has served as the executive producer of it as well. Next up, House Here with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Next, Saboteur. This is being the Encore edition. This is one of the best discs I ever bought, because one of this I recently got for the longest running time. I finally bought it. Next up, Tin Man with Richard Dreyfuss, Danny DeVito, and Barbara Hershey. And right now, this is movies I've seen on VHS for the longest running time. So, I'm going to put these back where they belong. So, hold on just a little bit. Fine. Hold on. Hold on. Next lot I just picked up recently, so here it goes again. Next up, The Jackal with Richard Gere and Bruce Willis, and this is being the signature collection of that disc. Oops. Show you the back, almost forgot. And it's a gatefold release. Next up, Backdraft with Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Scott Glenn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Ricca De Mornay, Donald Sutherland, and Robert De Niro. And right now this is a Ron Howard film. And right now this is a Universal Pictures film co-produced by Imagine Entertainment. I'll show you the back. It's being the widescreen edition. So why did Howard pick this up? Because right now I'm a huge fan of, because I'm an avid collector of a bunch of Universal titles. And that's the reason why to get this as well. Next up, Goodfellas with Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci. And right now, and this is one of my This is one of my second favorite gangster films of all time. Okay, one of them is being Casino, which is one of my favorite, which is my number one favorite Martin Scorsese film. But also have that on as part of my Laserdiscs collection as well, which is one of the reasons I showed you guys that I picked up the Laserdisc release of Casino, and that's the reason why I get this as well, for the purpose of it. Next up, intersection with Richard Gere and Sharon Stone, and that's the reason why I get this, because I also do like Richard Gere, by the way. That's it for now. Next up, The Crucible with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder. And right now, because that's the reason why I get this, because right now I am still attending to go see that new movie, which will feature probably Daniel Day-Lewis's retirement from acting, which is that movie I am still looking forward to talk about is The Phantom Thread. The Phantom Thread, which will be coming out sometime on Christmas of this year. And that's the reason why I get this disc, because of Daniel Day-Lewis's retirement from his entire acting career, from his entire career as an actor. Next up, The Serpent and the Rainbow. And that's the reason why I get this, because I'm a huge fan of Wes Craven's, I'm a huge fan of horror. That's the reason why I get this as well. Next up, Offbeat, which is one of the movies that didn't get a DVD release, and right now the VHS is going up lots of money, by the way, and that's the reason why I get this from my Touchstone Laserdisc collection as well. Next up, okay, all three of the next three are going to be, which is a series of films that I am a huge fan of, which means I've seen the first one on VHS, which I got rid of the VHS copy. Then I picked up the Laserdisc release of that film, and the last two films I'm going to be showing you guys in a little bit, which is the one I first started watching on cable back in the day, and the last one I watched part of on cable back in the day. Plus, I watched the entire film on VHS for the longest running time. Next up, The Naked Gun, which is a series of films that I am a huge fan of, by the way. Next up, The Naked Gun 2, The Smell of Fear with Leslie Nielsen and Priscilla Kelly. Next up, The Naked Gun, The Final Insult, which is the last sequel ever made, in my opinion. Next up, The Unlawful Entry with Kurt Russell, Ray Liotta, and Madeline Stowe. The reason why I get this is because I also do like a Kurt Russell, and I know this is a good movie, so went ahead and did, however, pick this up from my 20th Century Fox Laserdisc collection. Next up, Notorious, and right now this is not a DiscoVision. The reason why I get this because I am a huge fan of Alfred Hitchcock's films. One of them is being Saboteur, which I showed you in a little bit. Plus, I showed you guys in one of my last videos. I showed you Psycho and Vertigo. Plus, one of the following discs I'm going to be picking up is probably Rebecca and Spellbound, which I'm going to be showing you guys in a little bit. Next up, Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. And don't hate me for this, you guys. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars prequels, and one of my favorite characters is Qui-Gon Jinn and Anakin Skywalker. And right now, I've heard this movie has gotten some bad reviews, so right now this is a very good picture quality disc. And only fun fact about this disc, it does have a very good gatefold, by the way. And right now the next two are probably box sets. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. Next up, Close Encounters. This being the deluxe widescreen collector's edition box sets, which includes a documentary, which is a making of film. Which is a Pioneer USA pressing, plus it does not have anything inside whatsoever. Next up, Schindler's List, which does have, does have the discs, it's a gatefold, plus does have production, hold on, I'm going to show you guys what the production photographs would look like. So, or just some stuff from the film. It has the book. It has the original John Williams score. Let me show you guys in a little bit. And that is it for that's for the Laserdisc. So stay tuned for part 2, and we show you guys some of the VHS tapes I got. So stay tuned for that.